So this lesson is intended for adult learners, ESL context, range of age, and L1s to practice picking out similar words and how to pronounce these words that are similar but have an important difference. So, with the students, today we'll be talking about words that sound similar, but there are certain differences in the way they're pronounced. So we'll look at how we can pick up those differences in listening as well as making the differences when we speak. That way people can understand us more easily. So all of the sounds in English fall into two categories, either voiced or voiceless. And what that means is the way you say them, and so we can feel if they're voiced or voiceless. For example, voiced sounds, you can feel it in your throat. So we see here voiced sounds are sounds like B, D, M, Z, V, G, R, and L. So these are the letters, but we're talking about the actual sound. So for example, the Z sound is Z. So if you put your hand over your throat when you say Z, you can feel your throat vibrating. So if we look at our voiceless sounds, like these that we see here, if we say those, we don't feel our throat move at all. For example, the S sound, S, we don't feel anything. Z, Z, we can feel it in our throat. S, we don't feel anything. That's voiceless. So Z is voiced, you feel it. S, unvoiced, voiceless, you don't feel anything. So depending on if the end sound in a word is voiced or voiceless, the vowel before it will be either short or long. So if we see here, voiceless sounds before the final vowel sounds before the final voiceless sound are short. And if our word ends in a voiced sound, our vowel sounds are longer. So the best way to see this is in examples. So for example, we have leaf and leave. Leaf and leave. So leaf ends in the f sound, leaf. So it's short. And then leave. Leave is longer. So when we say short and long, the actual time we're saying that vowel sound is shorter or longer. So leaf is short, and leave, we stretch it out, we say it for a longer period of time. So some other examples, we have cat and cab. Cat and cab. So here we can see cat is our short vowel sound. It's before a voiceless. Cat. And then cab is long vowel sound. Advice and advise. Advice and advise. So here, this one's a little bit different. We have advice, short, advice, and then advise. Advise. So advise, it's a long vowel sound, but here we saw that the S is a short vowel sound, marks a short vowel sound. But we're not talking about the letters here, we're talking about the sound that it makes. So advise, what sound does that sound like? It doesn't sound like S, it sounds like Z, advise, right? So it's the sound that it makes. So here it has the Z sound, so that's why we say a longer vowel. Advice, advise. And lastly, we have safe and save. Safe and save. So, just to practice real quick, I will say one of these words, and you tell me which one. Am I saying the short or the long one? So, cat. Cat. Yes, right? It's the short sound. What about leave, leave. Good, yes, it's that long sound, leave. What about leaf? Short sound. Leave. Again, our long sound. Advice, advice. Here we have our short sound, advice. So how would we say the long sound? Advise, advise. So it takes that Z sound, advise, and our longer vowel. What about safe? Safe. Yes, right? We have safe. It's shorter. And then save. The longer. What about save? Again, yes, it's the longer save instead of safe. So, the main thing, right, is to think of what's the final sound. Is it one of these sounds or is it one of these sounds? And that will tell us, do we say the vowel shorter or longer? So we'll do a little bit more practice recognizing these, and then you'll actually practice producing them some more. So to take a minute to practice a little bit more saying them, get with a partner, whoever you're sitting with, and just with the short list of verbs that we just looked at, practice saying each of them and seeing the difference and seeing whenever you say it shorter or longer. Okay, so now to get a little bit more practice recognizing these sounds, we'll do a listening activity with a little bit longer. So not just the single words, but using these words in a sentence and picking out, is it one word or the other based on the length of the vowel sound that we hear. So we have a longer list now of all different kinds of words that are very similar except the vowel sound and their final consonant sound. So we have these two columns. So based on these words that you see and are saying, which column is the short column, the short vowel sound column? Yes, this one. This is the shorter one, right? And then we have the long one. So each of these across from each other are very similar except for the short or long vowel sound that they have before the final consonant. So we'll do an activity with our partner, but first I'll give you an example of what we'll be doing. So I'm going to read a short dialogue, and as I read, write down the word that you hear. So I'll say either one word that has a short consonant or one that has a long consonant, but I won't say both of these words. So for example, I might say belief, right? So you'd write down belief, and I won't use belief. So we'll see just done as an example, and then you'll get the idea a little bit better. So here it goes. Are you ready? So just write down which one you hear. I bought 3 bags of ice yesterday, and you wouldn't believe how expensive it was. You know, you could save money if you buy frozen peas instead. So, now, you've written them down, right? So, we have ice, right? We have ice, not eyes. And then we have believe, not belief. And we have save, but not safe. And peas instead of peace. So all of these partners we have here, just choose one from each side. Don't choose both of them. So with your partner, write a short dialogue or just 2 separate sentences, and use at least 4 words. So if you choose 4 words, you might choose choose safe. If you use safe, don't use save. For example, if you chose to use sad, don't choose sat. That way, whenever we're listening, we have just the one choice to see, did we hear the long sound or the short vowel sound. So now, take a few moments with your partner, choose the words that you want to use, and write, like I said, either a short dialogue, just one sentence each, or it can be 2 separate sentences that don't go together, but still using at least 4 words that come from either the short or the long sounds. And then we'll get together with other partners, and you and your partner will say your dialogue or sentences to the other partners, and they will have to figure out, did you use the short sound or the long sound of those word pairs.